What's up, everybody? So they got this Rubicon 392 over at one of the local dealerships here, and I was gonna go check it out. It's what every Jeep should sound like. I like the color.
Yeah, it's nice. It's called Schnozberry.
Schnozberry?
Yeah.
Wow, look at this. How'd you guys get this so new? It's only 54 miles. So, does it have that button they say? Oh, it's on. The louder button. Oh. Because you push that, it goes quieter.
Oh, yeah.
It's like more muffled. Probably didn't know that.
I did not know that. That's nice to know, though.
I'm surprised it was that low. I was like, wow, this is pretty. I've seen new ones with more miles, like sitting on the lot, you know, never been titled. So this is considered used, right?
Yeah, considered used.
So that means it had to have been titled or something. So it's still drivable, like livable on the highway. I thought it was gonna be so loud, it'd be annoying. But you see here, it gets quiet. You let off the gas, and then when you get on it.
Test it out. We're on the highway.
Yeah, I just want to get. God. You gotta be kidding. Man. In a Jeep. That's crazy. You hear that? That thing just opens up. Like.
Just took off. That does sound nice. Oh, you good? Have some fun, you know?
This is a lot more fun than the hybrid. I'll tell you that. I mean, it's still fun having that electric engine too and the turbo, but it doesn't sound like that.
Yeah.
This is incredible. They must be getting more inventory, because if it's been there for that long, then you know it's kind of saturating a little bit. You know how if there's more supply, then costs go down. If there's very little, then everyone's going to scrounge for what little there are, and that's what they're going to want. I'm also, the thing about the hybrid one is sometimes it switches back and forth between the 4-cylinder engine and the electric, and it has this like jerky feeling. Yeah, you can tell. I mean, it rides really smooth for the most part, especially when in all electric mode. But it's when it goes back and forth, it's sometimes like this, just there's no transition. It's just one engine, you know. It's not.
But is that automatic or is it?
It's automatic. It is, but it's just a whole different beast. This is just much more enjoyable. Just regular, good old V8. I don't know why they had to go straight to the 6.4. They should have just put like the 5. They could have made the 5.7 an option, which wouldn't be as expensive, but would still have a V8 and still be more powerful than the regular V6. But I still like, you can't complain. It's like I think they thought, well, if you're gonna put one in there, just put a really badass one in there and not like mess around. Right? Yeah. Which some people wonder, well, why didn't they put the Hellcat? But that'd be like so. People be flipping these all the time. You know what I mean? It'd be so much power.
Man, that'd be crazy.
It'd be so much power that they would just like, nobody would know how to drive it. It would just be crazy. So they had to kind of keep it somewhat moderate, I guess. With
yeah, that would be freaking awesome,
though. I didn't mean to do that. Seriously. It's still got the cylinder deactivation. You can hear it go. I had that in like my Ram pickups, and it's where it shuts off 2 of the cylinders when you're not flooring it, so you can save some gas a little bit. That's another thing. I wonder what this thing's getting. Yeah, 10.5. Wow. Oh, I mean 59 miles, and it hasn't even broken in yet, so it's not going to be accurate.
Well, guys, that was the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon Unlimited Rubicon 392. The power is it's faster than the 4xe. The 4xe is fast, but that's just that much faster. Even though I know the numbers aren't that much more in its favor, but at the same time, it's just a Wrangler with everything a Wrangler can do, which is awesome. I love Wranglers. You can go off-roading, modify it, rock crawl it, camp out of it, everything. But you're basically just paying for a little bit better sound, way better sound, and a lot more power. But other than that, you're not really getting a whole lot more. I mean, you get a little bit extra height, but you can add height for a whole lot less than, 20 grand more that the Rubicon 392 costs over, like, say the 4xe, for example, which is more than a standard Rubicon with the V6, but you get a $7,500 tax credit if you qualify. So pros and cons, but it's still kind of steep. Spending, they're asking $89,000 for that used with only 50 something miles, which is really, it's like basically brand new. But that's up there. That's almost 100 grand for a Jeep Wrangler. Now, 100 grand might seem like a lot, but just recently on my trip to Barrett-Jackson, there was a stock Rubicon 392 there that sold for $137,000. Now, this wasn't a heavily modified 392. It was just a very well optioned factory one. It had the one-touch sky roof, which this one I just drove didn't have. But still, I think that kind of gives you an idea of how rare the Rubicon 392 is and what some people might be willing to pay for it. So actually, if you look at it in that sense, 100 grand isn't all that much. Considering what these went for when they were new. Now, I have the actual factory sticker for this vehicle that I just drove right here. Now you can see here, the original sticker price of this Rubicon 392 that I just drove was $78,980. So buying one for $89,000 or $86,000, which is what they were willing to sell that for, is quite a bit more than the original factory MSRP, and this is a used one, now albeit almost new with only 54 miles. When you think about what this vehicle will sell for in the future, when it's no longer produced, it's going to be a limited run, and the way the market's heading, everything's going to fuel efficiency, hybrid, electric vehicles. This vehicle is going to be extremely rare, and I would say it would at least maybe maintain or hold its value relatively, kind of in similar fashion to the way older Hellcats do, or maybe even specialty sports cars like the Mustang GT350. Those really hold their value well, especially even like the earlier years. You're still looking at paying 50 grand plus for used ones with 10, 20, 30,000 miles on them. If it's got more, then you might get one for low 50s. This is going to be the Rubicon 392 is going to be extremely rare, one of its kind. It already is, just in the fact that it's never been done before in the last 30 years, at least an engine like that. Could be a good buy, and especially considering what some people are willing to pay for them now at a auction, at a collector car auction. So now there's some things I want to point out here. Comparing the 4xe to the Rubicon 392, it's like, well, what about the fuel economy? The 4xe. Now it kind of, I think they mislead you a little bit in how fuel efficient this vehicle is. They give you this rating called 49 MPG and 20 city with gasoline only. I haven't seen any of those numbers. Now you can see the MSRP on this is less than a 392. This was 67,385, but it has quite a few options. It's almost, the Rubicon 392, you have to understand, it's a special edition. It already comes with a lot of options that on a regular Rubicon you have to add to it. But I don't see anywhere near this. What I'm really seeing is overall miles per gallon average of 22.69. That takes into account all my tanks, whether they're gas mostly or all gas or electric and gas. Now, of course, my best tanks I think 46 is about the best I've seen, and that's after getting 550 miles on that tank with 355 electric miles and only 197 gas. I've only done that a few times. For some reason, I'll end up going further than the range, and which is only around 20, 22 miles, and probably even it's more close to 15 now that I put 37-inch tires on it. You hit the end of your battery a lot faster. Now, it's always in hybrid mode. You still have battery power assisting you even when the battery is quote unquote less than 1%. But it really seems to struggle. On those tanks that I had 0 full electric miles and it's all just combined hybrid miles, I've had as low as 11.7 miles per gallon on a road trip out to West Texas. Now keep in mind I have a Mopar 2-inch lifts, more like a 1-inch lift because the springs didn't yield the right lift height, and 37-inch tires and a rooftop tent, which is like adding a brick on top of a brick. But still 11 miles per gallon, that's less than what my 08 Rubicon on 35s and a 3-inch lift got with the dog of a V6, the 3.8 liter, the one before the Pentastar. So I don't know. I'm spending, they're saying you're gonna get an annual fuel cost of $1,700. And I don't know who drives their vehicle that few miles. I've already spent $1,500 in 6 months in my 4xe. So, hi. You want to get in the camera? Here. Look, you want to be on camera?
I'm on camera?
Well, yeah. No, hey, Stop! Well, anyways, that wraps it up for now. I hope you enjoyed this quick test drive of the 2021 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited Rubicon 392. If you did, please like and subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of the next motoring adventure. And we'll see you next time. Take care.